Trading card games, we love them. And if you don't, you're on the wrong channel. My light just died. The main trading card games that I play are Weiss Schwarz, the Godzilla trading card game, with a little bit of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh sprinkled in for good measure. Ever since COVID, there has been a huge influx of trading card games. So let's go through a couple and see if they might last 10 years from now. Pokemon, of course. Pokemon has been here forever, and I think it's going to last forever. Dragon Ball Super, I don't think this is going to last. If anything, I think it's already dead. Bandai really likes just gunning out card games and then just killing them. Final Fantasy trading card game, I don't know. I think that they could have definitely ran the wave from Magic the Gathering, and they're just not capitalizing on it. So I don't know if it'll last any longer. Weiss Schwarz, come on, of course. I think Weiss Schwarz is one of those card games that is just too big to fail, but it's too big to fail in that very specific market. It's not an original property like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, or Magic the Gathering. It is the biggest IP licensing trading card game. Build Divide, I don't think is gonna last. If anything, it's already on the downturn. They do have a lot of amazing properties because it is done by Aniplex, but I just don't think that it's really lasting too long. Hololive, I want to say yes. Hololive lately, at least in the last couple years, has been in a extremely rough patch, but I think with the talents that are staying and the talents that they do have, it could carry the game. And with the new talents coming in, it could definitely add a breath of fresh air to the trading card game. Yu-Gi-Oh! This one is a little tricky. I want to say yes because it feels like it's one of those that's too big to fail, but there's just so much going on with Yu-Gi-Oh! With like the power creep, the restriction lists, and just the overall community as well. There's a reason why I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Occasionally. Flesh and Blood, I think is gonna be, I don't know actually. I want to say it'll stick around for a bit. It's a tentative yes. I think Flesh and Blood will be one of the bigger trading card games. It is kind of, especially because it is riding the wave of Magic the Gathering. Union Arena, I don't know. I want to say yes. I think that is definitely one of the games that Bandai is not going to be killing, especially because of the properties that it is getting. It does have the licensing deal with Shueisha, so I think that is definitely going to be carrying it. Grand Archive, I want to say yes, because they're definitely pushing Grand Archive. You see Grand Archive at a lot of anime conventions, at video game conventions, especially trading card game conventions as well. There is also that collectability aspect of it, and the game is also, from what I've heard, pretty fun. And that's the most important part. Godzilla, damn, I hope so. I made a whole channel dedicated to it. So with Godzilla, the legacy IP is there. The game is also very interesting, pretty easy to pick up as well. And it's also pretty fun as well. Now they are doing a booster set every 2 to 3 months. So hopefully they'll be able to pick it up if they really do want more of a player base. But as of now, I'm going to say yes. Conflict of interest. Vanguard, I think so. I think Vanguard will be here in the next 10 years. Yeah, it's definitely one of those card games that's, again, a little too big to fail. Shadowverse Evolve, I don't know about Shadowverse. I'm going to say no because eventually the digital version will be more profitable than the trading card game version. With the digital version, there's less resources being put into it, while the physical version, you got to print the cards. Gundam, I think so. Gundam is a pretty big property. I have to see how the game plays. I haven't personally tried it out yet. But again, it's the oversaturation of the Bandai trading card games. But I think Gundam is going to be staying for a bit. Weiss Schwarz, Rose, and Blau, I don't think are going to last, unfortunately. Rose is too specific. Blau is also not too specific, but Blau might be kicking around for a little bit and then they'll discontinue it. But Rose, I do not see it continuing any longer. Osica, nah. I do not think Osica's lasting. They are on the downturn. I think they had one release in 4 months or something like that. Like, Osica's not going to last. Digimon, I also don't think is going to last, unfortunately. Bandai is focusing too much on One Piece, on Gundam, and Union Arena as well. That I think that Digimon is the one that they're going to kick to the side. And I think One Piece is going to stay. The property is popular enough. A lot of people are jumping onto One Piece. People from like the Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon are playing One Piece. And the tournaments seem pretty sizely as well. So I think One Piece is going to stay. Lorcana, I don't think it is going to stay. It's very strange. I also don't think that a lot of people that were playing the game are playing the game anymore. There's a lot more collectors in the game as opposed to players. And you need the players to survive. I mean, look at MetaZoo. And for fun, here's a game that I would like to bring back, buddyfight. Man, buddyfight was fun. I love that card game so much. What's funny is that while I'm filming this, there is a buddyfight tournament in the card game festival in Singapore. And also there is the buddyfight Vanguard collaboration. People yearn for the buddies. So there we go. That's what I think is going to be surviving in 10 years and a card game that I want to bring back. So I also tossed this question over to friends in the community. So here are their responses.
Trading card games. One of the beautiful things that mankind has given us. Maybe. But for those who don't know, I'm JoeSchmmo. I do a lot of things from streaming to anime content, which is on hiatus at the time of this recording, and video game content. But I play card games. My main ones are Weiss Schwarz, Magic the Gathering, which is kind of a light thing, but I still play and have decks and play Arena, and then Cardfight Vanguard. I play those, I would say religiously, especially for Weiss Schwarz, but I have put my fingers in a lot of different TCGs. So let me just break down my thoughts on what's going to be here in 10 years or not. I'll do the easy ones first for me. Weiss Schwarz will definitely be here. As long as anime keeps coming out, it's like the redheaded stepchild of Bushiroad. They don't want it, but it keeps staying and people keep wanting it. I have a lot of people coming from MTG into Weiss and really enjoying it because you can actually play and enjoy it. Magic the Gathering. It's the card game. It's gonna be here. I'm sorry. If Magic dies, everything dies. That is what started it all. It's super solid. Now with, you know, the secret layers and like all the exclusives, that's a whole different thing. But the game itself will never go anywhere. It's just going to keep going and going. Cardfight Vanguard. I don't think it will be here in 10 years. Especially as of late, they kind of killed premium platform. Their like premium platform for some reason with a bunch of bans. I like it. I thoroughly enjoy it. I play it casually. It was my first card game, like officially. I played like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff when I was a kid, but like I wasn't really playing. This card fight I played tournaments for, and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I still to this day, and I still have a bunch of decks. So, unfortunately though, I don't think it's gonna stick around. The hololive TCG. As long as hololive doesn't go under, it's gonna stick around. I would put this in the maybe category because this is in a category of newer things. VTubing is still kind of fresh and new and it's only really taken off in the last like 5-6 years really. So I don't know. The game is solid and can keep going, but if the company goes under, then the game goes under. So it's kind of an iffy thing. If I can make a maybe category, it will go there, but if I can't, then I'll probably put it in yes. The One Piece TCG. It's solid. One Piece is never going to end. Well, Oda says it's going to end in like 5 years or so. But One Piece is one of the biggest shows in basically history. It's outsold numbers in manga and in like physical DVD copies, breaking numbers all over the world. It's one of the best written shows of all time. So yes, it's going to be there and the market's there. Now, whether scalping and all that's going to ruin it, I can't say to that. But with how good and solid the gameplay is, it's going to be there. The Gundam card game, while it's brand new, has shown that people want to play it. Now, whether it be with, people actually wanting to carry it on or stuff, or if it's just scalping or just the fandom, I don't know. I will guarantee 5 years, 10 years, no. I don't think it's going to last that long. I'm going to put this in a no category because Bandai really kind of sucks with some porting stuff. Speaking of, we'll go with Digimon. That's not going to stick around. They already started abandoning it, throwing to the wayside. That is not going to stick around, unfortunately. But the fan base is dedicated, and they really wanted to stick there, but I don't think it's going to stay. Weiss Schwarz Rose, as well as Blau, they will not stick around. Those, unfortunately, are just fads that are trying to get certain animes into certain categories, which I think they shouldn't have done to begin with. They should have just pushed it into the main category, but it's the boys and girls Weiss Schwarz, essentially. Rose is the Gunner one, I believe, and Blau's the female one, where it's like shoujo ai and all that stuff, all the frilly, like, rom-com stuff. That's where it goes to. But unfortunately, I don't think those are going to stick around. Disney Lorcana probably will. It's a Disney IP. As long as they keep it going, keep it interesting, and keep it solid like they have, I have no doubts that it's going to stick around and keep going. Shadowverse Evolve. The physical card game will probably die, but the phone game will keep going. So with the physical card game, I'm going to say no. I think that's going to probably die out in a couple years, knowing how Bushiroad is. But I feel like they paid a lot of money for it. They're going to keep that dead horse alive as long as possible. Union Arena. That's an iffy one for me. Because they've grabbed all the main shonen like IPs right off the bat. They've gotten popular older ones like Full Metal Alchemist and stuff. So there's a chance it could last a while, but I hardly ever see people playing it, to be honest. So, and I hardly hear people ever talking about it. So if I had to take a guess, I'd probably give that a couple years too before it dies out. Pokemon, sticking around. I don't know what to tell you. If you're blind and you've been under a rock for the last especially 5-6 years, it's taken off in popularity, but it's always been popular and very steady. People have always loved Pokemon, and that's never gonna change. The card game is very easy, especially if you want to get kids into card games. It's one of the first ones I recommend getting kids into. Super solid. It's good. It's just good. It's gonna stick around. Flesh and Blood, I haven't seen a lot of, but there's people all over playing. I recently went to Europe and I saw people playing it. There was a big tournament with like 35 people in Norway. That's not going anywhere. Whether it has 10 years staying power, I don't know, but I'll actually put my my eggs in a basket in that category and say it will. I will end with actually no, there's a couple more. Dragon Ball card game, gonna die out. They have their fads and they're gonna die out. It's gonna be a collector's thing. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. The DBZ fans don't like to read, they like to scream and yell at the TV. The Final Fantasy trading card game. I don't think that's going to last around either. It has its fad, it went through its phases, and it's dying out in my eyes right now. It's not going to stick around for 10 years. The Godzilla card game. I have no idea, but since it's through Bushiroad, it might just die off in a couple years, unfortunately. The one I want to end on is Yugioh. It will be around, whether it be in a playable state or not, or they wipe the board is a different story, but it will be around. Because, I'm sorry, a lot of people don't like it, because open turn kills, OTKs, suck booty cheeks. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think.
I'm RDR, and today I'm cosplaying as Nakayama Festa at Anime Impulse.
Alright, thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
Alright, so the question is, what card games will be around in the next 10 years? And the first one is Pokemon.
Yes, for sure. It's Pokemon. Like, half of this convention is trading Pokemon right now.
Dragon Ball Super Fusion. Did I say that right?
Fusion World.
Fusion World.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no on that one. Dragon Ball's been through, like, 3 iterations already.
2.
3? Because there's one in the 90s.
The OG one was, like, more like war. It was like...
Yeah.
Still counts.
Still
counts!
Still a no. Final Fantasy trading card game.
This is a tough one. I'm gonna say no because Magic the Gathering Final Fantasies kind of screwed them.
Weiss Schwarz.
Gonna say yes because anime will still exist in 10 years, hopefully.
Build Divide.
That's gotta be a no, man. That's part of that big bubble of Weiss Schwarz pretenders.
Hololive OCG.
Hololive is a tough one. I want to say no because it plays too similarly to Pokemon, and we just don't know what Hololive is going to look like in 10 years. It's going to be around, but like, you know, to what extent and how?
Yugioh.
It's got to be a yes. Yu-Gi-Oh's not in a good place right now from what I hear, but it's still Yu-Gi-Oh, and there's still like people that are really nostalgic for the property.
Flesh and Blood.
Flesh and Blood I don't know enough about, but you know, like it is like the preferred game of like Magic the Gathering, like washouts or like people that have quit MTG. So like, you know.
And speaking of that, Magic the Gathering?
Yes, unless Hasbro does something horrendous.
Union Arena.
Union Arena, I'm gonna say no just because I personally don't like how the game plays.
Grand Archive.
Grand Archive is the Weeb MPG. So, you know, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
Godzilla.
Godzilla is easy no. Single topic, single like IP specific TCGs don't last.
Vanguard.
Vanguard is weird. If we're gonna count a new format of Vanguard in this, we're gonna say yes. If we're gonna say the current format, I don't know.
Shadowverse Evolve.
Gotta say no, man. Uma Musume can't carry it.
Gundam.
Gundam is tough. Gundam is super popular, but like I don't know what the crossover between Gundam enjoyers and Gunpla makers and trading card players is.
It's a Bandai card game.
So I want to say no.
Weiss Schwarz, Rose, and Blau.
Rose and Blau, that's tough. I mean, I want to say no, because just put it in regular Weiss, man. And just introduce the QOL that Blau has in Weiss, like colorblind, like aids.
Osica.
Osica's like Build Divine, man. No.
Digimon.
Digimon has existed in some form for 30 years, so I want to say yes.
One Piece.
One Piece is the one single IP TCG that I think can survive.
Lorcana.
It's Disney, so as long as Ravensburger manages it well, I'm gonna say yes.
All right, and the last one. What card game would you like to bring back?
Maple Story TCG.
Apparently.
Wait!
Alright, what's up? It's me, your boy, Earthweave and Fire, and we're gonna lightning round this shit. Ready, go. Pokemon, yeah, it's definitely gonna be around for another 10 plus years. It's the largest multimedia franchise ever. It would probably take a nuclear holocaust to end this franchise. Dragon Ball Super? No. I think this is like the third Dragon Ball game we've had, so the IP definitely can't carry a TCG by itself. And I've yet to see a single soul actually play this game, and it seems a whole lot more like a collector's item rather than a trading card game, which I don't think can be supported by itself. Final Fantasy, yeah, I think it's going to live another 10 years. It was a major hit for Magic the Gathering, so there's definitely demand for Final Fantasy in TCGs, and during COVID, Final Fantasy actually stopped hosting events and stopped printing sets, so the fact that we're now up and running again and everything's hunky-dory and the game didn't die is a pretty strong testament to like how good this game is. Yeah, Weiss Schwarz, I definitely see living another 10 years. The only real concern I would have would be like Union Arena being like a very strong competitor, but I think Bandai has a horrible track record with having healthy games, and the marketing is vastly different where Union is more normie focused and Weiss is more people who actually watch anime focused. Build Divide, no. It all really depends on the Build Divide Bright format because the universe and crossovers have split formats now. And from what I've seen, it has solid crossovers like Demon Slayer and Dress Up Darling, but I've never heard about them like existing until doing research for this topic. So I don't think Build Divide is going to last that much longer. Hololive, yeah, probably will last 10 years. It really all depends on how successful Cover Corp is. But if Cover ever starts to fail, the TCG is probably going to be one of those first things to get cut due to costs. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, it's definitely going to be around for another 10 years. Big multimedia franchise. Kind of had that too big to fail / Stockholm Syndrome and sunk cost fallacy kind of thing. The only real problem I can ever see with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that because it's really hard to get newer players into the game, because there's no real like casual format, more people might be leaving Yu-Gi-Oh! Than people coming in. Flesh and Blood, I have no idea. I know the game has a very big and loud dedicated fan base and definitely has incoming traffic from other card games, but that's really where its only traffic is from, other card games. No one walks up to Flesh and Blood being their first card game. Decks are extremely pricey, so the only people who are able to really afford those decks are people who are selling out of the other TCGs. Grand Archive, I don't think it's gonna live to see another 10 years. I don't really see a whole lot of people playing the game. I know there are like tournament events because I have heard about them in passing, but I never see like content or anything or product really on the game. So I just think it's probably not going to last super long. Godzilla, maybe it really depends. I have yet to even play the Godzilla games. I don't know how it even plays in the first place. But I don't think Godzilla is a big enough IP outside of Japan to support it. So we'll just kind of have to see. Vanguard, yeah, I do think it's going to last another 10 years. The new standard format allows for more consistent deck updates, so more people are going to be buying product every set as opposed to once or twice a year like the old format. But Bushiroad also just refuses to let this game die. They keep rebooting it, so maybe not this incarnation of Vanguard, but they'll definitely have a version of Vanguard alive within 10 years. Shadowverse Evolve, I don't think so. Everyone that I've talked to just prefers either of the online clients for Shadowverse as opposed to the paper versions. I think I only played the paper version once, and I very casually play the current online client. Gundam card game, I can definitely see saying another 10 years. It's pretty new, but From what I have seen so far, the support for it is very strong, both locally and internationally. Not really much to say because, again, it's a very new game. It just came out like a week or two ago in the US, so we'll kind of just have to wait and see. Rose and Blau, I definitely see living 10 years. They have the exact same game mechanics as Weiss Schwarz. They're just like lower power level, for lack of a better word, and they're just targeted towards different graphics, Fujoshis and Gooners, respectively. Worst case scenario, the games just merge with Weiss because they use the same game system. Osica? Who? Digimon, I don't think it's going to last another 10 years. Bandai doesn't have a really good track record with trading card games. And I don't think Digimon, like, yeah, it's a really big IP, but I think if you, like, walk to, like, some random guy, they might, like, yeah, I know Digimon, but I don't think they could tell you, like, the name of a Digimon outside of, like, walking up to a guy who could probably tell you, like, 7 Pokemon off the top of his head. Lorcana, no, it's a pretty mid game. And Disney fans and TCG players aren't, like, a huge, like, overlap on, like, the Venn diagram. The only person I know who would, like, fit that bill would be, like, Fern, and I don't even think he plays this game, so I think it's probably going to get cut for budget eventually. Union Arena is definitely going to stay around for another 10 years. The IPs in there are very safe and normie friendly, as opposed to, like, Weiss, where you have Diddy Gabriel Media on your product page sometimes. It definitely will have a massive, like, collector's market for it too, even if the game quote-unquote dies. So as long as they're still printing product, those people will definitely still exist. A game I would love to bring back is Gate Ruler, please. That is a super cool take on the leader mechanic, where the leader determines not just like, ooh, what colors you can play like in like Magic or foreseeable, but it actively determines the rule set you play by in the game. Like the 2 opening starter decks were like a standard, like, I have a hand and like 3 resources I can work with. And the other one was you don't get a hand. You look at the top 2 cards of your deck and either play them this turn or you lose them. However, your deck had like a cost limit to it, but the game also had negative costed cards that had huge downsides if you ever saw them or triggered them or took them as damage. So it was just really cool. It also had vanguard and world building. Like the fucking furry CIA SWAT team was really cool. And like the fucking extraterrestrial tentacle monsters, they gave Cthulhu a dad bod. It was fucking hype. Please bring Gate Ruler back. I am fucking begging you.
And
Hi, my name is HandTrapTCG. I am currently being held hostage at Anime Impulse.
so the question is, which games in the next 10 years do you think will still be around? So Pokemon.
Pokemon, it really depends on how the Pokemon company handles things going forward. Because of currently of how it is, I don't think it's gonna last 10 years, because just managing product and also like distributors withholding product is a huge issue, and that can go with a lot of the card games that are on the list as well.
Dragon Ball Super?
That game's already dead. You mean Fusion World?
Final Fantasy TCG?
If they make more games, yes, but otherwise no. But otherwise, Magic the Gathering already has a hold on Final Fantasy.
Weiss Schwarz?
That's kind of rough right now because there's a lot of games that started doing Weiss Schwarz's formula. Personally, in my opinion, yes, if Kidani doesn't kick the bucket, hopefully not. But in my personal opinion, it's literally a maybe.
Build Divide?
No.
Hololive OCG?
It goes with the idea of VTubers, right? Whether or not it is a fad. If it lasts, yes. If it doesn't, then hard no.
Yugioh?
As a former competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player, I would say yes, because we've seen the ups and downs of the communities going up and down, but Konami, knowing how they are, they'll just neuter it in the West rather than where in Japan, because it's very big still in like China, Japan, and like Asian countries.
Flesh and Blood?
I honestly do not know much about Flesh and Blood. I've seen the events. From what I'm seeing, it's just people who are tired of standard Magic the Gathering. So, in my opinion, as long as Magic lives, Flesh and Blood will live.
Yeah, and Magic the Gathering?
I mean, it's lasted 50 years already? 40 years? I don't know. If Fern can like edit in how long it's been. From like how long it's lasted and how many more like mechanics you can add. Honestly, yes.
Union Arena?
Same thing as Weiss. It depends. Okay, it's Bandai. No.
Grand Archive?
It's had a very like weak start, but it's strong like holding. It will probably last another 5 years at most, but otherwise, I just see another force of will.
Godzilla.
No.
Vanguard.
Same logic as any other Bushiroad card game. But again, Vanguard is Bushiroad's baby.
Shadow vs. Evolve.
50-50, it's a maybe. Same logic as Flesh and Blood. It really depends on like how other card games go. But with how expedited the releases are currently, no in the West, but in like Japan, I would see it dying kind of, because Shadowverse has been like dropping numbers lately from what I've seen.
Gundam.
It's Bandai, so with my logic, it's like we've seen Bandai card games, so I would say no, honestly.
Rose and Blau.
Rose and Blau, as long as we don't, I don't know, castrate the male and female population, then it should last.
Osica.
Osica, though, I'll be honest, I've never seen it in big shops in Japan. I would only see it in like the Farmville villages.
Digimon.
It almost died like once. It's persevered for 5-6 years. Do I think it'll last another like 10 years? God no.
One Piece.
I've said it before in our like group chat that we've had. We talked about it a bit. One Piece is ending within the next 1 or 2 years, but after that, I think it will hold for another like 5 years. It's like Naruto, right? We saw a fast decline in Naruto in like 5 years, and I don't think that One Piece will live like to hit 10 years, maybe 9, but 10 is kind of a stretch. Get it, stretch?
Lorcana.
Are we near any Lorcana players? Because there's a regionals behind me, like a 6K. No.
Alright, what is one card game you want to bring back?
Huh. Card game I want to bring back? Damn, that's pretty hard when most card games that died are either Bandai or Bushiroad card games. I'm surprised like you didn't put Duel Masters on the list. But honestly, like, as most like the old heads, I'm not old by the way, but I played with the old heads, Kaijudo. Like, no, but Kaijudo was such a good, they ran events well, they like had a good like game mechanic. Another one was the original Naruto card game as well. They need to bring back that the same mechanics they had as well, because they try to bring it back. However, the company that was running Naruto, right? They made a new card game with the same Naruto mechanics, but with AI art. So that went downhill real fast. Another card game I would probably think that should come back is Force of Will. Like, it's still releasing sets and everything, but it's not like, you know, exploding like it used to be. I'm sorry, Spurn didn't put the My Hero card game as well. I have a lot of things to say about that. Or Universes or Star Wars. Those won't live. Those are probably the 3 card games I want to come back. The game mechanics feel more like refreshing if you bring it back to like introduce to older players or newer players, because they'll actually understand what resource management is, and like not combo wombo, swing for 6 and a 6/6 on cancel for 6, all that stuff.
Hello everyone, I'm Husky Ninja, and without further ado, let's start with Pokemon. This card game started in the 90s, and it's continued to stand the test of time amazingly. It's still beginner friendly, and it's still returner player friendly. The only problem it has really is scalpers, but it's still a relatively easily accessible game, and lots of stores still supply it, and a lot of TCG stores still hold events for it. So I think that alone, as well as the app, tells me it's going to stand the test of time. Dragon Ball Super card game. This card game, I'm just going to be brutally honest, it's dying where I live. A lot of stores no longer supply it. There's no basically shop tournaments held for it or challenges. And it's going the way of the Transformers card game, where that did really well for a few years and then just suddenly died. So sadly, that's the way that's happening to the Dragon Ball Super card game, which is a real shame. The Final Fantasy card game. This, I feel, has gone the way of the Game of Thrones card game. A lot of people were playing it, then it became less and less people playing it. Stores stopped supplying it, even for events. It's only small locations or areas that still supply and hold events for this. So sadly, that alone tells me it's slowly dying, and I feel that's just a real shame for it that it didn't get a full chance. Weiss Schwarz. I feel Weiss Schwarz is going to stand the test of time. It's a fun card game. Never really ahead. It's just like you can get something, but the real challenge is when you hit level 3, where you can get really, really tough neck-and-neck battles go on, as well as being able to showcase like what series you love against someone else. It's super beginner friendly as well as returner player friendly, and there's not really any problems with it, really. The hololive official card game. In card game terms, it's still in its first starting years, especially when it's not long since it's come to English. I have not played it myself, but I have been watching people play on YouTube. It is a lot of fun watching it, and I do think it may do well, but after this year, I think it's a real test of time of will it really hold up or not. So I think maybe with hololive. Yugioh. I'm sorry to say, Yugioh I feel is dying. One, it has a problem with scalpers. Sadly, a slightly toxic player base. It's not beginner or return of player friendly. I ditched it myself before the Yugioh GX era. Konami, they keep destroying it with its ban lists. And sadly, I just feel like Yugioh over time is just going to die. Vanguard. Vanguard, I feel, is going to replace Yugioh. Main point being, a lot of veteran Yugioh players who are really successful names have ditched Yugioh and have actually moved to Vanguard. More so because the player base is fun. There's not really any problems with this player base. It's just, sadly for me, it's not that much of a beginner-friendly game, but I think it will stand the test of time. Shadowverse Evolve, I've given this game a try when it first came out in English. I still have those 2 decks, but I haven't touched it since. That's because gameplay is not intuitive. It's hard to get anything where I live for it anymore. And also around where I live, there's not that many events for it anymore, or even player groups for it. So sadly, I think around where I live, Shadowverse Evolve is dying. The next 2 I'm going to clump together, mostly because of where's both Weiss Schwarz, which is Weiss Schwarz Rose and Weiss Schwarz Blau. For one main reason, which is their only problem, they are region locked to Japan. They're not in English, but I think if Bushi brought them to English, they'll really thrive. But it's just the region locking that's holding them back. Only time will tell if they'll succeed enough for Bushi to actually bring them to English. So maybe on both of these. Osica. This card game, I feel, died before it had a real chance. Here, where I live in the UK, no one supplied this card game. I was only able to watch gameplay of it on YouTube, or whenever people were streaming it. And when a lot of stores said, oh, we're thinking about getting it, they then didn't get anything in with how quickly this card game died. So, crying shame for it. Next up, we have the Digimon card game. I know there was originally an old Digimon card game, but this current one is the remake. It is not beginner friendly. That alone to me tells me it's not going to do well, it's not going to survive, as well as how gameplay works is not going to do well. And a lot of stores now have already started no longer supporting this card game anymore. So, again, one that I don't feel is going to last. One Piece card game. This is currently doing amazingly well, both at Bandai Namco stores, YouTube, and online as a whole. If you're not a One Piece fan, the only thing that's bringing you to this card game is the One Piece Netflix live action. But I have watched people play it, it looks like fun, and currently it's doing surprisingly well, and I think it has a good chance to last the next few years. Lorcana. This card game is not gonna last. I can tell just by player base, where area to area, depending where you go, it can either be doing really well or really bad. Around where I live is doing really bad. And the reason I don't think it's gonna do well is just because it's Disney. A lot of people are turning away from Disney products now. Unless it's traditional Disney, they don't know, and I feel Lorcana might die. And for a card game I think should be returning, I think is Duel Masters. You like Yu-Gi-Oh! And you like Magic the Gathering, but you find Magic the Gathering a little bit too cumbersome? Then you have Duel Masters. Came out in the early 2000s. They did try to bring it back in Japan. Don't know how well it did there, but I think if they brought it back fully, it'd do amazingly well. Especially for those who either find Magic too cumbersome or just want something a little different or nostalgic. So a big thank you to Casually Weiss Schwarz for asking me to take part. And please, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe to his channel, as well as come and check out my channel, where I cover lots of Weiss Schwarz matches and some topics as well. So, big thank you, Casually Weiss Schwarz, and I hope you all have a wonderful day!
This is Twinkle from the Twinkle Clan. This is my submission for Casually Weiss Schwarz's, aka Lunchbox's community request. So we'll start from Pokemon trading card game. Absolutely, it will remain here in 10 years. It is multimedia franchise, has an anime, the mainline video games, the spin-off video games, mobile games, all sorts of merchandise. It's going to be here that will continue to appeal to both generations that grew up with it, that from way back in Generation 1 to the current Generation 9 as the time I'm recording this. Next up, Dragon Ball Super. While Dragon Ball is a classic IP, I frankly do not see this particular card game lasting that long, simply because I think Bandai Namco has overstretched itself by releasing a bunch of single franchise-based card games. Moving on, Final Fantasy TCG, I could feasibly see it last into another 10 years simply because it is Final Fantasy. It has a very robust fan base for both the video games as well as the trading card game itself. I wouldn't be surprised if I still see Final Fantasy card games still running around. Weiss Schwarz, absolutely, it is the Clash of Universe trading card games of Clash of Universe trading card games. As long as there remains anime, visual novels, video games, you name it, that Bushiroad wants to keep clashing into each other in its most robust part, it will be here. I would make the strong argument that Weiss Schwarz will be the hill that Bushiroad dies on, so to say. It will sacrifice pretty much almost everything else, but Weiss Schwarz will be one of the last ones to go in a worst case scenario. So yes, I see Weiss Schwarz being here into the next decade. So Build Divide, there's not really enough of a following for the Build Divide IP for Aniplex to continue to go. Yes, this can be a long-lasting product that will make it into the next decade. Build Divide Bright, I think, is also struggling. I think both of these are going to have issues moving into the future when it's competing with the likes of Weiss Schwarz, the Bandai Namco's Union Arena, and so on and so forth. It's just a very oversaturated market. Moving on, we have hololive card game. I think it will continue in the 10 years. I do not see hololive as a property going away in 10 years, nor do I see the card game going away. I think that being a nice mix of what we see in the Pokemon card game, its mechanics, along with being somewhat like a weird mix between your, let's say, Card Fight, Vanguard, Buddy Fight, or any of the Bandai Namco card games. The gameplay elements do make for a fairly approachable product. I could see hololive continuing on into the next decade for sure. Yugioh, this one's a very weird one. I would simply say that it will continue simply because it is Yugioh. While the anime has not been taking off too much, I think Yugioh has very much a dedicated fan base. I think Flesh and Blood, while this is not a game I know too much about, believe that it does have a dedicated enough player base such that I think it could keep going for another 10 years as long as they find a way to grow. Union Arena, we've alluded to it already as a Clash of Universes card game from Bandai Namco. It's a tricky one. I think ultimately I'm going to say that it will, simply because it is Bandai Namco. It's able to attract all of its IP, or the IPs that either will simply not make it in the Weiss Schwarz for one reason or another, or is able to touch a larger audience that Weiss Schwarz simply cannot. I think it will be ultimately more of a casual collector product versus Weiss Schwarz having dedicated competitive circuits as well as its fair share of collectors on and off. Grand Archive, this one's a very funny one. I think as long as they remain dedicated to the project and continue to get proper feedback from the community and all, which I believe they seem to be doing, I think this game can make its way to 10 years from now. Again, dedicated player base, I believe should still be growing on and off as far as I know. The gameplay is fairly intuitive. There's a lot of content creators in the VTubers side and the mainstream card game content creator side that all really rave up the game. And again, it's by developers who themselves play card games. Godzilla, one of Bushiroad's newest projects. This was very tricky. It just recently came out as of the time making this. It's literally been fewer than 2 months since its release. I'm going to have to frankly say no, just because Bushiroad, like Bandai Namco, has also been stretching itself pretty far out, and I don't see Godzilla being a card game compatible enough IP to make it into the 10-year mark from now. Card Fight Vanguard, absolutely. This is, if it's not Weiss Schwarz, this is very much Bushiroad's love child of trading card games. It is a very big multimedia project, having its own anime. Cardfight Vanguard will be here. If Weiss Schwarz is not going to get Bushiroad Gaio, it will be Cardfight Vanguard for sure. Cyberverse Evolve, I think this one will also be around the state for 10 years, just simply because both Saigons and Bushiroad have made it clear they want this to last, especially since Saigons has now made Shadowverse Roads Beyond as Shadowverse's replacement into the modern era, as well as proving that they don't need content from the original Shadowverse game to make upcoming sets. Gundam card game, Bandai Namco's newest card game as far as I know. Yes, this will absolutely stay. Gundam is also a very big multimedia IP, a lot of anime, movies, video games, etc. Gunpla, a big thing there, building plastic models. I could definitely see this going on. Gundam has a lot of fans from all over the spectrum. Moving along, Weiss Schwarz Rose and Weiss Schwarz Blau are the same listing for one reason or another. Weiss Schwarz Blau was kind of meant to be a step back, kind of to more appeal to the female demographic of Weiss Schwarz, given that apparently Weiss Schwarz has not been able to appeal to females all that well, so we see more of these boy-male heavy titles. It will most likely remain niche, but I could see Weiss Schwarz Blau going into 10 years if Bushiroad put proper effort into it and continue to find a way to appeal to those more female-leaning, mainstream-leaning demographic. Weiss Schwarz Rose is a trickier one. It's kind of meant to be this semi-unspeakable territory of IPs. I would not be surprised if this goes away in Kansas simply because it ultimately ends up being a very niche product due to its nature. Ultimately, Weiss Schwarz Blau, yes. Weiss Schwarz Rose, no. Osica, this is another one of those cross-universe card games. This is made by, I believe, the same folks who made Precious Memories, which I believe was Broccoli or something around that. Don't quote me on that. I frankly don't see it because I believe, just like with Precious Memories, Osica is barely holding on to any sizable population of players due to its quirky gameplay, and yes, while it's been getting popular titles, I just simply don't see it standing out enough to compete with the likes of Weiss Schwarz and Union Arena. So frankly, I do not see it whatsoever. Okay, Digimon. This is another one of Bandai Namco's mainstays in terms of single IP-based card games. I think as long as the Digimon project continues to truck along, the Digimon card game could last in the same way as Pokemon. Again, would be, of course, continue to be a distance away from Pokemon, as Digimon always has been, but I could definitely see Digimon make its way into 10 years from now, just based on its fairly approachable gameplay along with its most likely undying love for the IP itself. One Piece, absolutely, it will continue. Eiichiro Oda will continue to make One Piece roll along until he decides he can't, but even if he does decide that it's time to stop, I could see Bandai Namco continuing to make One Piece the card game continue into the 10-year mark from now. It is popular casuals, competitive players, you name it. It has almost everything a card game could ever want. So moving along, lorcana, absolutely, Ravensburger has a very good track record with making very popular tabletop and board games, and lorcana has been able to dig into that kind of same demographic as well. One being based on Disney, and two, its general gameplay mode of a 4-player free-for-all. It definitely has more of that fun dynamic of a party game that will continue to see expands from the casual crowd rolling in, and so on and so forth. And okay, a card game that I want to bring back, I think we have to bring back Future Card Buddyfight. While yes, it was plagued with a lot of problems on and off, I think given that Bushiroad has chosen to implement Future Card Buddyfight as an actual collaboration in the Cardfight Vanguard game, shows that there remains hope for it to succeed under the right circumstances and proper guidance, I think. So that'll be my little submission for this little project. Hopefully it's not too long. And we'll move over to the next person. Bye-bye.
Hi, it's Tops. I own Topspot Cards here in Anaheim, California. Best card shop in OC.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so these card games, do you think they're going to be here in the next 10 years?
Okay.
Pokemon.
Of course. I mean, biggest IP in the world, actually.
Dragon Ball Super.
No, because Bandai cannot keep Dragon Ball games alive, and people just stop playing because of power creep.
Final Fantasy TCG.
Absolutely not.
Weiss Schwarz.
No.
Okay.
This one's probably gonna be heated, but like I think the market's gonna change. Like Weiss is solid, but I don't think there's much of a future for card games that are same rules and are always franchising. I think this applies to Uni Arena too. It will not last.
Well, my next one was Build Divide.
Oh, it's already dead. It's on the decline. It's dying.
Hololive OCG.
Oh, this one's actually. Oh, you got. Okay, I didn't know this was on the list. If VTubing remains popular, which I do think it's gonna be popular, the game is actually pretty solidly built. However, I don't think Hololive is gonna go in the direction of like a black company anytime soon. But will VTubing be around? Will VTubing be popular enough? There's always a new batch of talents every single year. So within 10 years, do the current generation girls, are they still here? I'm gonna say a tentative yes. Yeah, a tentative yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yugioh.
Yes. Yes, they somehow will figure it out. Everybody's on the everybody's doom and gloom with Yugioh right now, but I think that company will figure it out. Whether it's in the form of rush tools or not, I'm gonna count that.
Flesh and Blood.
Yes. Can we pause?
Yes.
Flesh and Blood? I do think so. I think Legend Story Studios is pretty solid in terms of managing their game. Will the game grow? I'm not sure. I hope it does, but currently they're very print runs are tight, community's tight, things aren't exploding, but I think they're having steady growth. So yeah, I think it'll be here. Grand Archive. Oh shit. This is a little fun. This is kind of funny because our store is like really deep in a Grand Archive. Been deep in a Grand Archive since the beginning. I do believe that a lot of things need to be improved, and a lot of things could be improved to guarantee like an absolute yes. But I do believe that the team is constantly working on iterating their game and the player experience to get to a point where they're like have longevity. Mm-hmm. So also, confident but not super sure yes.
Godzilla.
No.
Cardify Vanguard.
Yes. Yes.
Shadow vs. Evolve.
No.
Gundam.
Yes.
Weiss Schwarz Rose and Blau.
Blau, no. Rose, no.
Osica.
Already dead. Oh, it's already dying.
Digimon.
No.
Really? No?
No. Because after... Well, the problem with a lot of the Bandai titles is they keep making new games, which destroys... Well, doesn't destroy. It cannibalizes their player base. Hi. Oh. Yeah. So right now they've just tried to do a global catch up the English side, the global side to the JP side, and I do think it's pretty much dead here. I know there are some stores around here who are keeping it alive, but Bandai keeps making new card games, which cannibalizes the already large, but it's not with every game they make. It's not like they're getting more players from other spaces. Mm-hmm. A lot of players who are playing Bandai games are jumping ship. Right now, people are jumping ship to Gundam, for example. There's only so many card games that a person can handle before they have to really start cutting stuff out. And I feel like Digimon is gonna be the one. Mm-hmm. And then also the same thing is kind of happening in Uni Arena. They don't seem to be addressing a lot of the issues that Uni Arena has. And they could probably release a lot more product to get a bigger player base, but they're not doing that. So I feel like those two are on the chopping block in terms of not making it in the long run.
Two more, Lorcana.
Lorcana? No. I think it's already declining. It's not a it's a competitive card game, but it's not the same kind of competitive card game that most TCG players are used to. Mm-hmm. It's a racing game, and I mean, it feels like it's kind of I compare it to Altered. just because like they kind of have the same format where like you're not like really trying to take your opponent down to 0. You're trying to race ahead of them, and I don't think it's just it just doesn't have that competitive drive that a lot of people are craving for when they do play TCGs. Yeah.
And the last question is, what's a card game you want to bring back?
Bring back. Oh goodness. Let me think about that one. MetaZoo.
MetaZoo.
Nah. Card game I want to bring back.
The Harry Potter trading card game.
honestly. Oh no, that was. I want to see Naruto come back, but not under the same rule set as before, because I don't think it would make it. I think if that is brought back right now, it'd be kind of fun. I don't know if it would last, but I think there's so much content that could be explored. It'd be kind of fun, and fun to collect as well. But in terms of like actual like real games to bring back, somebody should bring back Duel Masters. Somebody really should bring back Duel Masters to the US. I think right now is a good time to bring back Duel Masters, just because it is the right kind of game in this right. I think this is a good environment for that game to come back and flourish. But now that like your questions are done, it's making me feel like the rapid fire no's making me feel kind of bad. Like, I mean, like, not to knock on any of the ones I said no super fast. It's just I like for Godzilla, I just don't think there are enough customers.
Yeah.
Right. And then every TCG company, every publisher is a for-profit business. So like I don't think the numbers are going to be there for Godzilla to survive. And a bunch of the other titles as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just there are more publishers than ever, and the whole world is in a recession. It's gonna be really difficult for any publisher to survive with their like IPs right now. So you really have to like dial it in. And when push comes to shove, like weak IPs, or card games that don't really flesh themselves out, or card games that like players who are very smart, players who will eventually realize when a card game is just milking cash, or like it's the team that's behind it is not really like they don't have their hearts in it. It'll come out in the product and people will stop playing.
Yeah.
And there we have it. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the forums below what card games you think are going to be lasting in the next 10 years and what are not going to be lasting in the next 10 years. Don't forget to follow everybody that is featured in the video. They all have some sort of social media presence. So give them all a follow. Really appreciate it. Love you all. Take care.